Hey, guys, it's your girl Mecia. Happy July the 1st. Can you guys believe that we are in the seventh month of 2026 already? Time is flying. So let's get right to it. Since time is flying, let's jump right into what I want to talk about. If you have been following me for any amount of time, you will see that last month I started a series on becoming a better version of yourself. So that was my theme for June, becoming. Rolling into July, the theme for this month will be about confidence. So I'll be having conversations with you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that there will be posts pertaining to confidence. We'll see if we could get a couple interviews on the topic of confidence. But tonight, I want to start our conversation off about the topic confidence starts within. So that's the topic for tonight. Confidence starts within. And can I tell you something? Confidence does not start with the perfect outfit, the perfect job, or even the perfect body. Confidence starts within. So if you don't have confidence or believe within yourself, anything on the outside is not going to really, matter, because confidence starts from within. So I just want to give you guys a few pointers. And the first point I want to touch on is confidence is an inside job. A lot of times we think, that confidence comes from maybe if we lose weight, get promoted, find the perfect relationship, or even make more money. But confidence is really about how you feel about yourself within. The opinion of yourself is louder than any other opinion you can hear. So, confidence isn't something you find, it's something that you build. So it all starts with you. You have to know that it's an inside job. Pointer number two would be your inner voice matters. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to yourself when you're all alone by yourself? What are the thoughts that are running, through your mind about yourself? And here's a good question, to gauge where your thoughts are, whether you don't know if it's been so normal for you to just think negative about yourself. Sometimes you don't even think it's negative because you've been so conditioned to allow yourself to think negative about yourself. But I want you to propose this question to yourself. What you say to yourself, or what you think about yourself, would you say it to your best friend? Would you say it to people that are close to you? And if the answer is no, then that means you got some work to do. You have some work to do, because if the negative things that may possibly be running through your head regarding yourself, if you wouldn't say those things to your best friend pertaining to their life, or even just speaking of your own self to your closest family or friends about yourself, then that's something that is a clear indicator. I need to do some work. I definitely need to do some work. And the Bible tells us that life and death is in the power of the tongue. So we definitely have to be mindful of what we are saying. Just in, like I said, sometimes we have allowed negative thoughts, sayings, or whatever about ourselves become so routine that we aren't even conscious of the negativity that we are speaking up about ourselves. So we definitely have to be mindful of that, and we want to work on this month, changing that. And the Bible also speaks about be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So renewing your mind, that's a daily, that's something we have to work on every day. Every day is something that needs to be worked on, being renewed in the mind. And I've heard sayings that say we are our own worst critics. We don't have to let outside people come and say nothing. What we say and think about ourselves, we critique ourselves the worst sometimes. But we want to speak those things as though they were. So starting this month, if that's an area that you struggle with, thinking negative things about yourself more than positive, or just speaking negatively about yourself open air, like saying it out your mouth because you don't believe in yourself, we're going to work on those things. We're going to speak those things as though they were. And some examples of what I'm talking about is like, you might say it to yourself, I'm just not enough. I'm just not enough. You might want to replace that with, I'm still growing. I'm still growing. You know what I'm saying? Or you might say, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. Instead of that, won't you try saying, I'm learning. It's just as simple as that. I'm learning. And like I said, it's not going to happen instantly or overnight. This is something that you have to work on it. You have to work on it. And if we start now and make this a daily habit, by the end of July, and possibly before the end of July, you will see, a routine going on with yourself. My routine in the morning, I get up, I pray, I meditate, I read a devotional, I read the Bible, I say affirmations. These are things that I get up to start my day off positive. That's what I have to do, because I was speaking to one of my good girlfriends the other morning, and I was telling her, I said, listen, the devil is always on his job. The moment you open your eyes, he be on your heels. Like, he be on your heels. So for me, it's imperative that I wake up and pray and meditate and read a devotional and speak affirmations, because that's how I have to condition my mind in the morning to start off positive. Because if I don't, and I sit there and listen to the lies of the enemy, it ain't gonna be a good day. So this is a routine that I have adopted for a long while, that I try to make that, my routine every morning. Point number 3, I would say, is stop looking for validation. And what I mean by stop looking for validation, sometimes it's just as simple as, social media likes. You might post something, and you looking for validation, for people to like it, and you're looking for certain people sometimes to like it. I struggled with that at one point in time. Now, I don't care if you don't never like it. I'm still posting it, because really the posts aren't about likes. It's about me expressing myself through my post or what's on my page. It's more so about me and what I want to display, about how, I feel, or what my beliefs are. That's what it's about, for me now. It's not about like, oh, I gotta get, it's really, I ain't worrying about that at this point, because I know that what I'm doing, somebody is watching. Now, who it might be, somebody's might be, I don't know. But I know that when you're consistent, you will make an impact. And that's what it's all about, making a positive impact on people with social media. So that's one instance. Don't look for validation with compliments. A lot of times, people, they don't feel good if nobody compliments them on, what they got on, or, how they smell, or their new hairdo, or whatever the case may be. Be confident within, yourself, and compliments such as, like I said, I love fashion, but I could care less if you think my outfit don't match. I didn't wear it for you. Some people feel like, oh, she gotta do the most, or whatever. I do the most because that's how I feel about myself, and that's the confidence I have within me. I don't dress for nobody but Mecia. I like to, look good. That's just who I am, So but I don't look for validation through people like, oh, I'm not gonna put this on. You ever been with a group of girls, and this has happened in the past, and I'm talking about years ago, hopefully at this age we are, but I mean my viewers might be different ages, so I don't know. But anyway, you be with a group of girls, and y'all either got to chat or somebody got to call or text you and say what you wearing or what you got on. I don't gotta call nobody and ask. I mean, I might ask what is the occasion? Is the occasion formal, semi-formal, casual? But I'm not getting into detail about, well, what you wearing? Well, what color you putting on? Or what you, when you confident about yourself, you gonna wear what make you feel comfortable. Now, like I said, I need to know what, like, the basis of the event or whatever. Is it casual? Is it formal? That's about as much as I need to know. After that, I don't care what you wearing. I don't care. I'm wearing what works for me. You know what I'm saying? What makes me feel comfortable. So I would admonish, if you struggle in that area looking for compliments, or you feel like you gotta fit. I ain't never want to fit in. I just ain't never been that person. I ain't never want to fit in. So I'm gonna dress to my liking, to my comfortability. But those are some things that women struggle with, looking for validation regarding compliments. Yeah, everybody wants to feel good, and everybody wants to be seen to a certain degree. But what I'm saying is, regarding this confident topic, is if you go out and nobody compliments you, you should still feel like, I feel like I look my best tonight. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be determined on if one person or 50 people compliment you. That's the point I'm trying to get to. Another thing, validation, getting approval of family members. Sometimes with children, they struggle with their parents. They want to get the validation of their parents or whatever. You have to be who you are. You have to be confident in what you feel is good for yourself. And I've had conversations with younger people, and I say, now listen, if you got good parents, take wise counsel. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes at a young age, you really don't know what you want to do as far as your career or whatever. But I just encourage people, do what you love. That's some parents put this false expectation on their children. I want you to be a doctor or a lawyer or this or this or that. You put them through all this schooling, spend all this money, and you put in unnecessary pressure on your children, and they don't even want to be in that career field. They don't even like the job. It's not even something they're passionate about. So when I'm talking about approval from family members, the only approval you really need is from God. That's the only approval you need. Now, like I said, I'm not against wise counsel of family members, but having them to validate you as a person, the validation you need is from the Lord. And relationships, when you in a relationship with a man, you kind of, some women want to be, validated. Like I said, everybody wants to be loved, like, and all that and the above. However, you got to really know who you are when you are entering a relationship, because it is easy when you are either unhealed, not whole, or looking for love in all the wrong places. It is easy to want to always be validated by your significant other, your man, or whatever. But that should not be the case. When you know who you are, when you are confident in who you are, you should not be looking for a man to validate who you are. You should be strong and confident within yourself that you are enough, period. So if your the confidence depends on other people's approval, they'll always have control about how you feel about yourself. And that's something we don't want to even have to go down that road, having other people control your narrative because you're always seeking validation. You are enough, and the only validation you need is from the Lord. Point number 4 would be, keep your promises, keep the promises you make to yourself. And examples is like, you're going to do morning walks, you're going to read one chapter out of a book, you're going to be starting to pray consistently, you want to start that business, keeping your commitments. Your word is your bond. If you're telling people you're going to do something, stick to your commitments. Unless it's some, unexpected situation that prevents you from keeping a commitment. Other than that, your word is your bond. If you say you are committing to something, and this is why the word also tells us, in all things acknowledge him and he will direct your path. I used to struggle with this in the past, where, and I mean way in the past, probably in my 20s, but I quickly got up out of that, where you get invited to everything. Everybody wants to invite you, and sometimes you overcommitting yourself. And now the day comes, it's time to go to an event, it's time to show up for somebody or whatever. That day you ain't even feeling like that. Now you begrudgingly like, oh my God, I don't even feel like going. I don't, now you there with an attitude and you tired, whatever the case may be. But this is why you have to make a practice of, let me get back to you. Let me check my calendar. Everything does not deserve an answer immediately. And if it does, then you might gracefully want to bow out. You might want to say, well, if you need an answer right now, then I'm going to just say no. But give yourself time to, ask the Lord, is this something you want me to commit to? Is this something you want me to go to? We strayed away from that. If it sounds good, I'm going. Boom, 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 boom. But now you are maybe overcommitting yourself.